Morning everybody, great to be here today, and I've got a quick presentation on, look, the title I've given it is Digital Modular Construction, but to be honest at the time it was kind of, I had a lot of work to put into this presentation, so it's more kind of looking at how us as a main contractor are trying to adopt BIM and kind of where we've gone so far, what kind of stage we're at, and obviously where we feel we need to go. So it's kind of quite a broad presentation, so if anybody's got any questions afterwards, obviously there's a Q&A session, but if they want to pull me aside, there's no problem. So just a quick introduction of myself. So 20 years in the construction industry. I was originally based in the UK, based in Ireland now for the last 8 years. Always pushing innovation and possibilities with modular construction. I've constantly thinking about different ways we can improve our processes, whether it be with the manufacturing element, the production element, the site, the design. It's constantly looking at the ways that we can change things. And one huge thing that I always ask myself and try and get everybody within the team to ask is kind of why. There's a huge thing is why. Why are we trying to change this? Similar to what you talked about yourself there, there's more than one way to do this or better ways to do this. It's always to talk about the why we're doing this. So if we want to change a certain element of the design process, why are we doing that? And a massive question we get asked constantly by clients, subcontractors, is why do you want to adopt BIM? Why? Why is that reason? And we're trying to get that across to them, the benefits that they can get out of adopting BIM and looking at a different way of doing things. And look, it's not working every single time, but we are getting a lot of successes, and slowly but surely, we're trying to push our subcontractors and design team onto this process. So again, look, passionate about showcasing modular construction. I'm not an expert in BIM, but I see the huge, benefits and possibilities that are out there. Okay, so this is why, I'm not going to stand up here and try and preach to you guys. You guys are experts in this. I'm here for more of a, main contractor perspective. So brief company, Cpac there, we've been in business for 40 years, family-owned business, 103 direct employees. We feel we're a leading modular company in Ireland. We've got a full in-house design team. And very luckily, when I first joined Cpac Modular, I got the opportunity to bring in a full design team there. So, we had to pick the people. So, as design manager Lelia there in the room, we got to pick experts in the industry. And we targeted these people to get them within our company because we want to offer the full design and build process. We want our own in-house design team. So with a lean production facility, we're able to produce roughly around 15 to 20 modules a week. We can, obviously we've got efficiencies we can put into that. We can put double shifts in, etc. But the key element of that is that we've got a lean production facility. We look at everything in a lean manner when we're doing production. Every single one of our employees there, the 103, every single one has got lean training. They've got a minimum of a white belt. We've got green belts in there, and we're looking to get some black belts in. We see it as a really beneficial thing within the company. Look, we're in the education, healthcare, and we're moving into student accommodation, which ties in nicely with Pat's presentation there because we've got a couple of bits at the end there about student accommodation. And again, look, we're investing heavily in system certification, whether that be the NSAI, fire, acoustic. Obviously, we're on our journey to ISO 19650 accreditation. That's something that we're pushing on now. So look, Cpac Modular started off with jack-leg cabins, onto temporary modular, onto more hybrid modular, and now we're onto the permanent modular, 65-year lifespan. This is what we're trying to push now, which is hugely exciting, really exciting times to be within Cpac and the MMC industry. So look, quickly, the speed, the quality, control, build environment, these are all advantages of modular. One thing that we are using at the minute is we're using a lot of Evercam, a lot of construction cameras on site. So just a very short kind of video that we've just got here, just one of our sites. This is we use this kind of material for marketing, yes, but also for showing the client progress on site. We're looking at how we can adapt, how we can integrate our BIM models into these videos as well and into the software so that we can show clients the progress on site. At the minute, Leah and her team are working with Evercam to look at doing a scheduling within Evercam so they can show the schedule and certain elements that are pulled into a BIM, into the BIM model on screen at a certain time. So it's really exciting times to be working on that. We've found this hugely beneficial with clients to be able to show them very quickly, very easily progress on site and what the stage the build's actually at. We do we're looking at University Hospital Waterford there, a bit of a case study. So, 10 treatment rooms that were needed very quickly. We offer a very, very quick solution, a very efficient solution, and this is something that's a problem across the country, obviously, with healthcare facilities, so that's something that we're helping out with. We're doing hybrid modular schools, so this is a school in Terranure there, so again, lack of education space out there, so we're providing a hybrid solution. And then finally, this is a permanent school that we're building at the minute in Kishore. We just started on site and into production. These are just CGIs there. So again, this is showing where we can go within kind of the modular game 3D volumetric. So it's very exciting. So BIM adoption at Cpac so far. So look, it's a journey that we're on. It's very difficult because, like I say, it's getting everybody to understand the reasons why we're looking to get, adopt BIM within a project. It's getting the client to understand. It's getting that kind of early engagement with all the stakeholders, trying to understand why we're doing this. One massive thing that I feel is an issue within sort of BIM adoption is that, people can't be afraid to ask the questions. I'd rather be the guy in the room that's asked the stupid question that everyone else is kind of wanting to ask, because I always find that we can be within a design meeting or within a client meeting, and there'll be people that are agreeing to things within a project that they don't really know what they're agreeing to, because they haven't got the kind of understanding of what kind of the whole kind of what BIM is. A lot of people obviously say, oh, BIM, brilliant, we'll have a model of a building. And, it's so much more than that, and that's what we're trying to get people to understand. So that's something that's huge. Just requires a new mindset and a way of thinking. That's what we found there. And when people do get that different mindset and a way of doing a project, completing a project, they see the benefits. And one thing that we have had to try and do at Cpac is we kind of set a vision of kind of why we're doing this again, what we're trying to gain from this. One huge thing there is obviously, bringing in the CD that we've talked about. We've got a couple of slides on it in a minute. Bringing all these little sort of benefits in for the guys on site, the guys producing, to show that there's less reworks, there's less waste, there's less time wasted. So it's a huge thing for us. The goals remain the same, so we've still got to get that project over the line at that certain time. So we've got to be conscious as well as that, that the adopting a project, getting a project and adopting BIM on that project doesn't slow the project down. We've got to look at how we can increase the efficiencies. And obviously, one thing that we're using it obviously hugely is for sustainability, energy modelling, daylight overheating analysis. It's a great tool. And then a massive thing that's obviously something that we've got to look at is obviously the calculation for your carbon footprint for getting integration within your the BIM model on that. They're just a few other kind of softwares that we use, digital softwares that we're using within our company. So kind of pre-CDE, pre-common data environment, this is kind of the setup that we had. We had the client side, we had the client's kind of fire and DAC consultant, we had all of our kind of sides wanting to pull in, and then information started exchanging. And obviously this is the problem that you mentioned before, that there's a lot of information flying around and all of a sudden it just becomes a tangled mess. And and are we looking at the correct document, the right information, the most up-to-date data? So one very simple thing we brought in at the beginning of our journey was obviously Autodesk Construction Cloud, ACC. So that's allowed us now to be in a position where all of a sudden we've got a flow of information. The one place we're going to is always that CD for the most up-to-date information, the accurate information. So it's kind of been. It took a little while for the guys on site to adopt to this. There were still quite a few times that they'd kind of email the design leader or someone in design and say, can you email me across that drawing? And we kind of say, no, guys, this is the point of this. You go into the CD, that's where your drawing is, that's the most up-to-date drawing. And the amount of times that you get asked the question, is it really the most up-to-date? And so it's a bit of the guys on site just need to get a bit of confidence in it. But once they saw the benefits of it and the confidence came, these guys are not out of this environment now. They love it. And the best thing that we found on this common data environment is one of the huge benefits is being able to put photos in there and document the project and put videos in so that guys can check back, and it's a real useful tool where we've just got information, because what we found happen quite often was we'd be saying, project 6 months ago, have you got a picture of before that wall went up? And they say, oh yeah, it's on so-and-so's desktop and it's on this and it's there, and it gets lost. So getting somewhere we can put all that information is hugely helpful for us and beneficial. So the guys have seen that. So look, the design process that we're going through at the minute is very simple. We get a 2D concept, it gets pulled into a 3D model, and then on some projects we're looking at a digital twin. Now, it's very simple when you look at it that way, but I know there's so many more elements of that we've got to look at when it comes to adopting BIM. So our system, very simple system. We've got corner post system, SHS corner posts. We've got either PFCs or LGSs for us beams, and we've got LGS joists in there. We kind of try to look at them like Lego blocks in a way. You know, that's kind of keep it as simple as we can. But similar to us kind of Pat pulled across there about the kind of being able to get a kit of tools. This is kind of what, you know, we're trying to adopt as well, to say to the guys, look, you know, you can have as many modules this way and that way and, you know, as you like, but we want to be able to give them an option to be able to play on a screen and be able to do that. That's what we're trying to look at the minute. So then obviously as light gauge wall steel panels are fitted within that building. We do all our manufacturing in-house of all of our LGS. We've invested heavily in this, but again, this is another stage on the design now that we brought in-house that has to be built into the whole into the whole project. So it's something that we're looking at. We do a few different profiles. This last one here is just, I suppose, what we've tried to do is we've tried to create a VR campus there for, you know, our clients to put on a pair of the goggles and to have a walk around. But the ultimate aim of this would be very similar to, as Pat's been saying, is to kind of be within this environment as a student accommodation, and for them to be able to, the video's not playing there for some reason, sorry. No? Okay. That was the best slide. So, look, the slide that was going to be shown there was just, you know, somebody going into our VR campus, walking around the campus and then going into a student pod. But within that student pod, they can see everything, they can visualize everything. And then one adaptation to that would be, following what from Pat said, is, you know, that the guys would be able to change the color of a wall or change a bathroom pod, you know, as that headset was on, to be able to see it instantly. Unfortunately, what we are having to do is we're having to build a prototype of our student pod and actually have it in our headquarters there in Dunshaughlin for people to come and actually look, and they still want to come and touch and feel the product. So there is still going to be a bit of a step to get over, but if we can show them with a pair of goggles that, you know, they'll put those on and say, right, at the minute your bathroom tiles are grey, we're going to change them to white, we're going to put a bath in. If they could see it there in front of them, it'd be a huge thing that we can do. And yeah, as I say, that was the best slide, so I take blame on that one. So close there, and thank you very much. And yeah, any questions you've got, obviously we'll go through yourself. Thank you.